India is considered a soft power and one of the potential superpowers of the world. This potential is attributed to several indicators, the primary ones being its demographic trends and rapidly expanding economy and military. India has a rich and diverse history that spans thousands of years. During the colonial period, India was ruled by British East India Company and later the British Raj. Indian independence movement led by figures such as Mahatma Gandhi eventually led India's independence from the Britain in 1947, after which the country became a democratic republic. In the post-independence era, India has faced many challenges, including poverty, religious and ethnic tensions, and the political instability. Despite these challenges, India has maintained a stable democracy. India is quietly laying claims to economic superpower status. In 2022 alone, India overtook UK as the world's fifth biggest economy. The nation of 1.4 billion people is on track to move into third place behind the US and China by 2030, according to economists. The rise of China has been the biggest story in the global economy in recent decades, but the emergence of its neighbor India as a potential new economic superpower may be going under the radar. It still has enormous problem of poverty and poor infrastructure, but it is beginning to emerge as a rival to its large neighbor with the kind of economic growth figures that were once the pride of Beijing. GDP of India grew by 13.8% in the second quarter of 2022 as pandemic controls were lifted and manufacturing and services boomed. Although double digit growth is unlikely to be repeated in subsequent quarters, India is still on track to expand by 7% this year as it benefits from economic liberalization in the private sector, a rapidly growing working population. A key part of India's continued rise will be its ability to grow its manufacturing sector and challenge China as the world's number one exporter. India has already benefited from large, well-educated, often English-speaking middle class, helping the country to develop world-class IT and pharmaceutical sectors. It also has strong consumer demand, which accounts for about 55% of the economy, compared to China, which is less than 40%. China and India are two of the largest and most influential countries in the world, and their relationship will likely play a significant role in determining each country's ability to achieve superpower status. China has already established itself as a major economic and military power, and it may view India's rise as a potential challenge to its own dominance in the region. Ultimately, the outcome will depend on many complex and interrelated factors, including economic development, political stability, military strength, and international relations. It is difficult to predict the future trajectory of the relationships between China and India and how it will impact their respective abilities to achieve superpower status. India and China are both large and influential nations with a complex relationship. To counter China, India needs to adopt a multifaceted approach that leverages economic, diplomatic, and military capabilities. Here are a few steps how India could achieve that. By strengthening economic ties with other countries, India could work to deepen its economic relationship with other countries, especially in the Indo-Pacific region, to offset China's influence and build a more resilient regional order. Second is improving infrastructure. India could focus on improving its infrastructure, including roads, ports, and telecommunication networks, to increase its competitiveness and attract foreign investment. Third thing can be boosting military capabilities. India could enhance its military capabilities, including modernizing its armed forces and increasing defense spending, to better deter potential aggression from China and other neighbors. Fourth thing can be improving diplomatic relations. India could work to improve its diplomatic relationships with countries in the region, including those with which it has unresolved territorial disputes, in order to reduce the risk of conflict and increase stability. The Indian Army is one of the largest standing armies in the world, with approximately 1.4 million active troops. The Indian Navy is a rapidly modernizing force with growing submarines and aircraft carrier fleet, and is responsible for protecting India's extensive coastline and maritime interests. India has a long history of military power and has been involved in several wars, including the Indo-Pakistan War of 1947, the Sino-Indian War of 1962, and the Indo-Pakistan War of 1971. In recent years, India has been modernizing its military, with a focus on developing advanced technologies and improving its capabilities in areas such as aerospace, cybersecurity, and special operations. India is also a leading contributor to United Nations peacekeeping missions and plays an active role in regional security initiatives, including the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and the Indian Ocean Rim Association for Regional Cooperation. It is difficult to predict the future with certainty, but India has a potential to become a major economic and political power in the coming years. The country has a large and growing population, a rapidly developing economy, and strategic location in the Asia Pacific region. However, several challenges must be addressed, including poverty, corruption, and inadequate infrastructure. In order for India to reach its full potential to become a superpower, it has to resolve these issues first. Tell me your opinion on this in the comment section. In the presence of China, can India emerge as a challenger for superpower status? Let me know down below. I catch you later. Peace.